Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about diversity and the relation it has to young adolescent development. I'm also going to be talking about how we can use the developmental characteristics that are found in middle school students in their young adolescent development and how that can help us encourage multicultural development in our classrooms. So first of all, why is diversity in young adolescent development so important? Well, according to V. Manning, several psychosocial and cognitive developmental characteristics of young adolescents suggest that the early adolescence developmental period is an optimal time to introduce multicultural education. So because of the specific developmental characteristics of young adolescents, which later we will look at, and so it makes it a really good time for us to talk about diversity to them. In addition, talking about diversity with young adolescents is also important because by the time students reach the middle school age, they usually already have well-formed opinions about diversity. But these opinions usually come from their parents or other important figures in their life. However, middle school students can also begin to question these opinions that they've had since they were a child. And so it's a time where they can start adopting or creating some of their own opinions. So the three developmental characteristics of young adolescents that makes it an optimal time for teaching about diversity is that this is a time where cultural identities are being formed, where students are establishing friendships and opinions about other people, and where students are also developing a sense of justice and fairness. So let's look at each one of these characteristics specifically, and also look at the specific ways we can teach in light of each of these characteristics. The first one is forming cultural identities. So as we learned in Ed class, this is a time where students are starting to develop an identity and really questioning about who they are. So obviously, their culture will play a large role in how they view themselves. Their cultural identity also plays a role that will affect their academics, their social development, their behavior, etc. So the way that we can teach to help this is to develop positive attitudes about culture and about personal identity. We should also be promoting positive opinions for each person's cultures. And we also need to establish an overall classroom or school climate that accepts and respects diversity. The second characteristic is that young adolescents begin to establish close friendships and also develop opinions about other people. So again, as we learned, this is a time where students really prioritize getting to know other people on a deeper level. They also begin to form opinions about what kind of people they think are good and what kind of people they think are not good. So a way we can teach in light of this is to arrange situations to encourage diversity. So this could mean having people of different cultures sit by each other in class. It also means emphasizing to look beyond superficiality or the outside appearance, such as skin color or religion or even someone's gender, and being able to form friendships no matter what that person is. Also, it's important as teachers to create cooperative learning that can increase inter-ethnic friendships. So when making groups, making sure to put people of different ethnicities in each group. Lastly, young adolescents also are beginning to develop their sense of justice or fairness. So they're starting to understand the difference between what is just, what is not, what is fair and not. But the interesting thing is they usually have this dissonance between their beliefs and actions. So although they can see when someone else is being untreated unfairly and they can protest against that, they can still treat other people unfairly, but they don't realize that they themselves are doing it. So as teachers, what we can do is to have simulations or these role plays that require students to show what their sense of justice is, but also be able to act with that. Or teachers could also lead discussions about controversial topics such as race or religion, and by showing real-life examples, the students can discuss and share their opinions about it. I hope that by listening to this presentation, you were able to learn more about the relation between diversity and young adolescents' development.